I am 1,000,000% convinced that Drew and Stephanie Jenkins are actively using substances. And let me tell you why. She got on here looking all like she's been crying, and she wants to play the race card now. And before I go any farther, let me just specify right from the get go, that my husband is, as Stephanie would say, African American. Okay, here's the deal. She's saying that African Americans, that Drew is being, let me clarify, that Drew is being dismissed with his health concerns because he is African American. No. Drew is being dismissed because there's absolutely nothing wrong with the man. Maybe he's pre-diabetic. Maybe he has some blood pressure issues. I'll give him that, okay? But as far as all this being, his health is so bad that he can't work in it, no, a lie. And then she's going to go on and on. When the paramedics got there, again, because of his race, they asked or assumed that this so-called seizure had to do with some kind of substance use. Okay, paramedics, as we all know, go to school. They would not ask the question if there was not signs of a substance use. They're not just going to ask that out of a clear blue sky because of the color of your skin. No. They've seen signs that he is using substances, and that's why they asked the question. And you know what? If you are with a medical professional, there's no shame. Tell them the truth so they can treat you properly for whatever's going on. But no. Of course, they're never going to admit to that. I guarantee that if Drew did have a seizure, either he ingested or used too much of whatever substance he's indulging in, or he was in withdrawal from that substance. I guarantee it. After hearing her talk, and that her saying the paramedics asked about or assumed about substance use, that's exactly what's going on here. That's why they have no money. And then she's rambling on, and she wants to talk about how doctors don't know you better than you know yourself. They do know your health. They go to school for years. They can look at the results from your blood, from all these different tests, and they can tell you what's going on. She is so desperate for something to be wrong with that man to prove, see, I told you he can't work. No. And then she is out her mind. Because I'm sure if he's using something, she's using it right alongside of him. Because that's how it works 9 out of 10 times. You're not going to stay with someone that's in an active addiction if you're not. I mean, yeah, it can happen, but 9 out of 10 times, if one's using, the other one's using too. And then she's going to insinuate that Drew's exes are jealous of her. Jealous of what? That you're living in a hotel? Come on now. And she claims that since they have went through hell since she has went viral, then get off the internet. This is what you asked for. And she says, because the exes seen that she was doing well and seen that Drew was going to do well because of her, that's why they came for him. No, Drew owes child support. And that child is entitled to that money, as well as that child's mother for supporting said child. And Stephanie was stupid enough to post every single detail, including their location online, and that's what made it possible for him to be served, to go to court for the child support. Not that they were jealous and they seen they were doing so well. Now here's the kicker. This really angered me. I mean, the whole thing angered me. I don't even know why I'm so angry about this. But then she says, and don't even get her started about Deshawn. Because that boy is calling her mama. She's feeding him before she feeds herself. He is looking for her every morning. He's dependent on her for everything. You know why? Because they won't give him back to his mother. That's why. And to act like you are so mad, and like I've said it before, the only reason they will not give that boy back to his mother is because they're afraid of losing the few dollars that they get for him. Because they may be getting cash assistance for the boy, the food stamps for the boy. And that's ignorant. If she was any kind of person, because, we're all 99.9% certain that they have this little boy sleeping on the floor, while the two girls get a bed. The toddler gets a bed. The baby gets a bed, but he gets the floor. If she was any kind of person, if Drew was any kind of person, if they cared at all about that boy, they would say, hey, we're struggling. We can't provide him with the life he deserves and the basic things he needs, such as a bed, a real haircut. Let's let him go and be with his mother, who has a room for him with a bed. It's sickening. It's straight up sickening. But yeah, I'm convinced that they're using. Why is a paramedic going to ask if anything like that's going on if there was zero signs of that? And why get offended if it's the truth? I understand not wanting to come on the internet and tell it, but keep it real with the medical professionals, so they can treat you properly. I've been speculating this all along. I made a video. You can look it up on my page. I listed a whole bunch of reasons why I think that they're in active addiction. That's what it was, though. He did too much of whatever it is. Because besides her looking like she's been crying, that girl looked like she ain't slept in days. That's drugs. That's the problem here. That's why they don't have nowhere to live. That's why these kids can't get what they need. Because that's where the money's going. I said what I said. That's my opinion. Strictly my opinion. I don't take it as facts. Because I'm not going to defame their character or any of that. It's strictly my opinion, and in my opinion, they are using.